For the clown tier list, I'm just gonna go down the list. The Ranger, very solid. He's a good starting character. He's pretty much the same as the Tracker. He just has worse senses. So if you compare here, Tracker has a bit more stamina, a bit slower, but a bit more senses. I think the Ranger is probably better because faster movement speed and more strength, so you actually do more damage. Tracker is okay though, because if you're having trouble like keeping track of people because you're further behind, you'll be able to see their little white circles while they're running. So I kind of put these both in. They're kind of just playstyle preferences. These difference. I put these both in A tier. They're very solid, very good. Trapper really doesn't. I don't know. It's like a worse version of the Brawler. So I think I don't know. They have the Trapper has maximum stamina, right? And they're pretty fast. So they can run for a long time and they're pretty fast, but the Brawler is just faster in general. So the movement speed generally outclasses Trapper. I'm gonna put the Trapper in B tier. They even have less strength than the Brawler, which is kind of nutty to me. Um, so I don't really know why you'd choose Trapper over Brawler. Right now, there's not really any differences except for the stats. So yeah, the tank absolutely like F tier, D tier, bottom tier. He is so bad. His movement speed is awful, and his stamina is awful. He cannot catch up to them. The strength and stuff is nice, but like you have no way of actually chasing down humans. And right now, it's very chase oriented because you can never catch up to them. And then the brawler is definitely S tier. Um, you're the only one that can keep up to them, basically. Everyone else is just way too freaking fast. They run forever. It's boring playing the catch up simulator. So not only is it more fun to play the brawler, it's just a lot better because you can actually get hits in and stuff like that. So brawler, S tier, ranger, tracker, A tier, trapper is B tier, and tank is D tier. So there you go for that. Now for weapons, however, this is gonna be interesting because they just nerfed bounce caster and buffed pentashot. I think the pentashot before was like D tier, but I think after some testing it out today, it's gonna be B tier. The cotton candy ray gun is actually a pretty solid one. It's like the average one. Uh, I'll put it in B tier as well with pentashot. Laser beamer is probably the only one that belongs in D tier because it's just it it's so bad. Like it's so hard to hit, and then you have to hit multiple of them to even like get close to or cocooning them. So it's just really bad. Bounce caster, it does take 5 hits to cocoon them now, but it's still so versatile and you can snipe them from far away. I think it's still S tier in my opinion. It's just a lot more fair. So I think they did a good job with bounce caster. Uh, Pentashot, Cotton Candy Ray are probably B tier. The Giga Ray I'll put in A tier, and then Bounce Caster will be S tier. We'll keep Laser Beam in D tier. So if you want the best one, Bounce Caster. If you want some A tier ones, Giga Ray is the next best thing. Base Kit and Pentashot are B tier. Laser Beam is D tier. Now when it comes to actual weapons, this is very interesting because the base kit mallet actually does a lot of damage. Like one swing, even from like the basic clown class, does like 3/4 of a health bar. So like you can kill someone in about 4 swings with a mallet. Not let alone if you get a charged one, because I also made it so you charge up the mallet faster. So the mallet's pretty solid. Popcorn bazooka got hella nerfed. They reduced the damage, they reduced the time it tracks people, they reduced the range. Uh, just like four big things with it. But it is still very good for people who can't keep up. It just peels their health away slowly, and it's like very very little damage. So I wouldn't run it on like shorty or the brawler or the trapper, but it's probably worth on like the ranger and the tracker still, because it does a decent amount of damage and it tracks them for a while. So it's still decent. Jawbreaker mace is just very good. Its charge attack actually does an AoE, so if you're getting like ganged up by a bunch of humans, you can do the AoE charge attack and hit all of them at once. It's pretty solid, probably the same tier as the mallet. It's probably more of just preference. Gobstopper flail, probably gonna be one of the best weapons now. I don't think any of the damage weapons are are S tier anymore, but Gobstopper Flail is very good. Its ranged attack is very good. Boxing Gloves, the charged attack is horrible, but the Boxing Gloves are great for the Brawler because you can punch so quickly and you can keep up to them. I like the Boxing Gloves a lot, so I'll probably say that they're pretty high tier. After kind of discussing them, though, I think Gobstopper and Boxing Gloves are probably gonna be A tier. And then Popcorn Bazooka, probably A tier as well. And then the Jawbreaker Mace and the Clown Mallet will be B tier. I think I'm... No. Maybe we'll put the gloves and the Gobstopper in S tier. And then we'll put Popcorn Bazooka, Clown Mallet, and Jawbreaker Mace in A tier. Because I don't think any of them deserve B tier. The weapons are pretty solid now. Like, the weapons are all pretty solid. I like them, personally. So that's probably what I would do for them. For the abilities, obviously you're stuck with Clown Jump and Lol. Those are S tier abilities. However, if you want the actual S tier ability, even though they did nerf Lure, Lure is definitely the strongest ability. It is just so good. You can get them close to you to cocoon them right away or get a lot of damage in. Very strong. Balloon Dog is very good for when you've killed off like 6 people and you need to find the last person who might be hiding for the resurrection machine. Balloon Dog is very good. It also helps the people trying to find the people who are ratting for the ice cream truck. So it's always good to have at least one of these on your team. I'll put the Balloon Dog in A tier. When it comes down to Invisible Car and Pizza Box, however, they're just different variants of each other. The Pizza Box is faster than walking speed, but slower than sprinting speed, so it can eventually catch up, and the trade-off is it's smaller and harder to see coming. So it is like a sneak attack, but the Invisible Car is really fast, but it is very loud, and they can throw something at you to stun you out of it. So most of the time, a good human will not even let you get close to them to hit you with the car. That makes it kind of bad. But they're both really fun. They're more fun to use than Lure and Balloon Dog, I think, just because you get to run up to people and stun them in a funny way. We'll put them both in B tier. Invisible Car could be like D tier because people can stun you out of it really easily, but I'm gonna put them in B tier. So Hypnotic Lure S tier, Balloon Dog A tier, Invisible Car and Pizza Box B tier. They're okay. They're not the best, but that's pretty much everything for Clown. The other stuff is just Clown-talities and outfits and stuff, so you don't really need to see that. Okay, so I was waiting a bit before I made a Clown gameplay guide, because I was wondering if they were going to kind of change some stuff about Clown in the update, but the only thing they really changed that is actually good to worry about is that humans can no longer kill you with a blunt weapon. So they can down you with a blunt weapon, but they need to have a sharp weapon or a gun to actually like finish you off. So you're going to want to be careful who you pick fights with based off of the weapons that they have, and maybe if they have a sharp weapon that you can see like an axe or a poker, you're going to try and cocoon them instead. Because then if they're cocooned, they can't use it to kill you, but that also means they have to consume that item to break free from the cocoon, and then you could have a fair fight afterwards, depending on how many they have. But Clown is all about just figuring out what you do when you don't want to fight. If you don't have teammates nearby, then you are not gonna want to. You're not gonna want to fight a group of the 7 humans, because you're not gonna be able to stand a chance. I've honestly only been in one fight where it was a full 7v3, and the Clowns just got absolutely destroyed. Like, if the humans are in a giant group, it's very difficult to deal with them, and I'm worried this might become more of a meta, but we'll see. Basically, at the start of the game, what you want to do is find the stray cocoons around the map. These cocoons are ones that have... I'm assuming they're humans that happen like prior to the game starting, so these are dead people, so they count towards progress when you put it on. And if you notice in the corner in the bottom right, every time you hook a cocoon, you get 5-second reduction in all of your cooldowns. So hooking this again, you'll see it in the bottom right. 5-second reduction in all cooldowns. So you definitely want to be hooking cocoons that you find at the start, because it'll help you get your powers and abilities way faster. This also progresses the Clownpocalypse and spawns lackeys in that area, which will patrol and help alert you of humans in the area, but also clear out some of the fog of war. So if you have like any areas of the or that you haven't explored, the lackeys may wander over here and clear it out. That way you can teleport there in the future. Now, another thing you definitely want to do at the start is find every exit for Klown, because every exit spawns at about 50% for its cotton candy stuff. The gate is the exception. I believe it spawns at about 70% because it's a bit easier for them to do. But you want to find the gates, and you want to make sure you get them to 100%, like this. And that way you can also just teleport there in the future if you need to check on it, because you won't be able to teleport there unless you've been to that spot, you know? You can also kind of see, I can look at a different angle. You can actually, at the top, you can kind of monitor the cotton candy on the actual exits themselves, which is kind of interesting. I don't know how reliable that is, because the cotton candy only withers out when it gets down to like 3%. Then you start noticing the difference, and I've only seen that because I've been playing human, and the cotton candy only really goes away once it's completely gone. So it might be too late, but I guess you can see if they're doing a certain exit or not. You just want to wander around the map, pick up stray cocoons at the start. If you see a human, I would recommend trying to go for them. If they use an energy drink though, because of how strong energy drinks are right now, it's not worth chasing them. They're gonna run for 25 seconds, free stamina. They're not gonna have any repercussions, because they're not gonna be slowing down at all. Oh my god, these bots. So it's not really worth trying to chase them so quick at the start, because you'll probably chase them for like 5 minutes, and then you'll get one hit in if you're using a melee weapon. And then there'll be like 4 people escape through different exits, and it's just GG, you know? So you want to make sure that you're not getting too distracted by people you can't catch, at least at the moment, until maybe they nerf energy drinks. It might be more of a bet. I know there's a lot of people that are curious whether it's better to kill them right away or cotton candy them or cocoon them. And as much as it might be nice to hook or to cocoon them and then hook them up to the generator to spawn a lackey and shorten your cooldowns even more, it isn't worth it, because a cocooned human doesn't actually count until they die inside of it, which I think is I think that should probably be changed. But if I were to cocoon one of these bots right now, and I were to hook it up to this generator, they would pop up as yellow in the top right where it monitors like all the candy slots. If it's a dead human, it's pink. But if it's an alive one, it's yellow. See if I can... I chose kind of the worst gun for this, but... it's a bit better now. I'll try to showcase it. You weren't able to do that really before with the pentashot, but they did buff its cottonization per shot, so it's not the worst. You just have to be really close to them. So you see when I hook it up, they'll be yellow in the top right. And so when they're yellow, that means it's someone in progress. You can actually monitor how close they are to dying in this cocoon. Wait, can you? No. Sorry, that was just the leveling up. Actually, no, it was. The bots just insta-kill themselves because once they're hooked. That was just a bot thing. But basically, if it's a player, they're not gonna do that. They're gonna wait to try and see if a teammate will save them. So if you cocoon someone and you hook them up, it does nothing for you right away. You have to wait for them to die to get the 5-second reduction, and a lackey will not spawn until they die. So it's better to be hooking up the stray cocoons than the actual humans, because they will actually provide lackeys and cooldown reduction and, you know, more map control and progress towards the Clownpocalypse. The only way that you're going to get value out of cocooning someone is if you camp them, basically. You need to guarantee they die, because 99% of the time, if you were to just hook this person up and then be like, oh, I'm going to go teleport to the other side of the map to check on the gate, because they may be doing the gate, by the time you were to walk back to that point, they would be rescued from the cocoon. They took no damage at all. They used none of their weapons or resources in a fight. So now they're just completely alive. There's no downside. So if you let them get free like that, then the cocooning was entirely pointless, you know? Like, there was no point in cocooning them in the first place. So you kind of want to pick and choose when you want to cocoon. My preference is I will cocoon people at the start of the game, uh, just to try and put some pressure on them because they're all looking for exits. But if they have to come and free their friends from cocoons, it usually puts a little bit more pressure onto them, and they're not able to do as much as they would like, which is good because we don't want them doing the exits. That's the main goal. But when you get to like late game, you probably want to start killing them because after they use the resurrection machine, they can't be revived. So if you can pressure them enough to using the resurrection machine, then after that is the best time to be just straight up killing them because then they can't come back and you have permanently decreased player count in the lobby unless they DC and then get replaced by an alive person. But that's a whole other like gameplay issue that I think should be addressed, as a dead person DCing and getting replaced by an alive person. That is something you have to worry about as Klown. One time we had all 6 people dead, and then the last person was cocooned. One of the dead people DC'd. They got replaced by an alive person. That alive person spawned next to the resurrection machine and revived all of them without us even knowing because everyone else was dead and we had the last person in a cocoon. We didn't even notice it. They revived all 6 of them, and then they all ran out the ice cream truck exit because it was like 30 seconds left of the game. It was absolutely bullshit. It was so unfair. We did all that work and it got replaced by one person DCing. So I don't think people should get replaced when they DC. They should probably just get replaced by a bot, and that hopefully will be something they look at in the future. But that is something you want to worry about. If you do kill them, they might just DC and then get replaced by an alive person. So you always want to be pressing tab to check who's actually in the match still. Uh, if you are able to actually get up close and like fight with them, I recommend fighting them, downing them, and then depending on if it's early or late game, you can kill them or you can cocoon them when they're downed. It's actually better to cocoon them when they are injured than instead of just cocooning them like at full health, because then if they do break out, you have the opportunity to down them again quickly without them getting away too far. So that's going to be a huge benefit for you, especially if you have a popcorn gun. You'll be able to deal with them a bit more later on. So I think downing them and then cocooning them is going to be safer than cocooning them from far away. But a lot of the times you can't catch up to people, so that's why you see a lot of people use the bounce caster, because it's the only ray gun where you can really cocoon people from far away, so you don't have to worry about getting right behind them, because the clowns are very slow. So the bounce caster is going to be your best friend if you're trying to cocoon people from far away. If you can master it, that will greatly help in getting your cocoons. Generally, if you do cocoon an alive player, you don't want to camp them out if it's just one person. Like, if I were to cocoon someone and hook them there, it's a waste of my time to just sit here and wait for them to die, because then people are going to be doing exits. They're going to be probably attacking my fellow clown teammates who are going to need backup. It's just going to be a whole thing. So if you have more than one person cocooned in the same generator, it is definitely worth to stay there until at least one of them dies, because then you don't have to worry about as many people doing extra steps. So if you, like, there was one time I had 4 people cocooned at one generator. I would be crazy to leave that, because then that would be so much progress given back to the other side to just leave it. You want to force them. Like, it's not like they don't have counterplay to this, unlike in DBD where if someone's just camping there, there's not much you can really do if it's like an insta-down killer. In this game, humans can go up to you, they can attack you and kill you. So if they want to free their teammates, they can come and attack you and kill you. There's nothing they can do about it. They may want you to make it easy for them and leave the generator, but you should not feel any remorse trying to secure 4 kills, especially if it is entirely useless if they escape. They need to make it so there is more of an incentive to cocoon people, and get instant progress. Because the main reason, if you're playing human at all and you get down right at the start of the game and you get insta-killed, it's because there's no real point to cocooning someone right now, because you have to wait for them to die. They're not going to get any benefit if they hook you on a generator unless you die in that cocoon. So they should make it so hooking someone alive in a cocoon gives some sort of benefit. Oh my god. Gives some sort of benefit to the clowns. That way they have more of an incentive to actually, you know, cocoon people instead of just killing them right off the bat, because it's also not fun to be killed right off the bat. So I would like to see them do something like that. For other generalized tips, though, you want to be paying attention to pings around the map. If someone tracks them with a popcorn gun, you can also see them from across the map. If there's a ping from a lackey, it'll give you a warning. If someone fails a skill check, it'll give you a brief warning. So you really need to be paying attention to the pings around the map and pay attention to sounds. If you hear gunshots, then you should look on the map and be like, oh, my teammate's down this street and they're like walking back and forth using their ray gun. They're fighting someone and there's gunshots in that area. So you teleport there to help increase the odds of winning that fight. This is incredibly important to make sure you pay attention to your teammates on Klown, so you can go to them if they need help. If you ever are in a situation where you are getting 1v3'd, you always want your teammate to teleport and help, you know, make it a 2v3, make it so the numbers are in your advantage. Like that's what you want to be doing. You want to pay attention to your teammates. Air horns are very loud, gunshots are loud. I think those are like the main things you can hear across the map, but those are the things you want to pay attention to. The final real stuff in terms of endgame is, if you get to this point, you want to make sure you have your teleport ability on cooldown, so wherever the ice cream truck spawns, you can teleport right there. So, for example, it'll spawn at 30 seconds. It'll show me where it's about to spawn. You want to teleport there, and then you want to use your skill to stop the people from escaping. If there's like 3 or 4 people, okay, it is this one, wow, I guess that. If there's like 3 or 4 people left, you're not going to be able to stop all of them from escaping, but if you have Clown Car or a Pizza Box or a Lure ability, you can stop them from just running out the gate by luring them in, stunning them, and then cocooning them while they're stunned. If all 3 of you are there, you will be able to stop someone, but a lot of the time, not everyone jumps to the exit to help their teammates, so there'll be 1 or 2 clowns here. Even when I'm playing human and I get to this point, I'll see 1 or 2 clowns just sitting at the gate and the other teammates off in the middle of nowhere doing who knows what. But I've only ever been stopped once by a clown in the exit in the ice cream truck, and it was because they did the lure ability, and then they both shot me to death with the bugged popcorn gun, so it did a shit ton of damage. but yeah, it is possible to stop them. In terms of abilities, guiding on how to use them, that's a good situation to use lure. If you use lure, you can get a lot of damage in, or you can cocoon someone. You want to use the balloon dog to find the rats that may be hiding for the ice cream truck. Or what I like to do is, after I hook a cocoon and I think someone may be hovering by for the save, I'll pop the balloon dog, and then it will show me the nearest person, so I can chase away the person that was actually near. And then it's more likely that person will die in the cocoon, because everyone else is going to be distracted with escapes and other clowns. So it does help a lot. The clown car is good for covering distance and then stunning them. So if they're kind of far ahead, you can use the clown car. And you kind of want to dodge if they throw things at you. It might be kind of hard, but you can figure that out. The pizza box I personally use for sneaking up on people. If they know you're coming, you're not going to be really able to catch up to them. Sometimes you can, it depends. But it's good if you can sneak up on someone with a pizza box. That's like its best use. In terms of other gameplay stuff, though, it's really just you start at you load in, you go around the map, you make sure you find some cocoons or stray cocoons, you hook them up, you get cooldown reduction, lackeys spawn. You want to find all the exits, that way you have them marked on the map so you can teleport to them in the future. And then One final thing, if you're struggling to find exits, this is actually something I've been testing out recently. The lackey generators spawn next to exits, or they try to prioritize spawning near an exit. So if you ever see like an exit, or you see a lackey generator over on one side, like for example on the suburbs, there can be the boat on this side and then there can be a boat in the back. And generally, if the lackey generator spawns here, that means the boat is on this side because they want the lackeys to be patrolling that boat area. And if it spawns in the back, that means there's either the gate or the boat back there. So you can kind of use, like while you're picking up the cocoons, it'll show you where the generators are, and you can use that to find where the exit gates are, even without knowing or seeing where they are on the map. You can use the generators to locate where they are because they do prioritize spawning next to exits. And I wasn't sure at first, but after like dozens of matches of Klown and testing this out, it almost consistently spawns there. Sometimes it'll spawn off away from an exit, but the times that it has happened, it's near the resurrection machine. So I'm thinking maybe the resurrection machine has a priority as well for a generator to spawn near it, so the lackeys can watch that. So maybe it prioritizes exits and the resurrection machine. But I do know if you know where the things spawn, you can use the lackey generators to find them early on, faster than the humans, and then you can cocoon them and have them on your map for easier patrolling. So that's a great way to keep track of everything. Maybe in the future they'll make cocooning more worth it, but at the start, if you can get like 1 or 2 kills, it may be worth killing them just to force them to use the resurrection machine early, and then later on your kills will be more impactful because they can't bring those people back. But obviously, if you can cocoon someone and get them killed, that is an extra cocoon, and that will be extra progress to spawning more lackeys and more cooldowns. I've only ever been able to do this a few times where if you do only cocoon people and you don't kill anybody, and you don't kill anybody with like a clowntality, you can activate the clownpocalypse. And the clownpocalypse only it basically is the end. They can't do much about it unless they rush out through an escape, because what it does is whatever the remaining timer is, the second clownpocalypse starts, it drops the timer down to 1 minute, and even when it gets to 30 seconds, the ice cream truck does not spawn. So they have no way to escape unless they have like an exit ready to go that they can rush out during that 1 minute. So the clownpocalypse is very strong. It's just a map-wide like nuke that can kill everybody on the map. So if you can get that going, it's very strong. But to have enough cocoons to do that, you're gonna need to be cocooning people, because I'm not sure how many stray cocoons there are, but you need 16 to be able to start the clownpocalypse. And usually I've cocooned like 5 or 6 people, and then those people also have to die for it to even count towards the clownpocalypse. So it's like it's very, very finicky, because you could cocoon like 6 or even 8 people, but maybe 4 of them escape from the cocoon, so it's completely useless. But I think it's more just on preference or how the match is going if you want to cocoon or kill someone. Generally at the start, I cocoon, but maybe it's just because I don't want to be a dick. But there's not really much purpose to cocooning unless you're gonna get the kill. So either way, it's like you're not gonna win. The person's gonna be mad at you because if you down them, then and you kill them, they're gonna be sad because they're dying right away. So they'll probably be mad that you just like insta kill them. But if you cocoon them, it's pointless to just cocoon them and leave, because then they're gonna get freed, and you spent all that time cocooning them and hooking them for nothing. You got no value out of it. It was just a waste of your time. So if you cocoon them, you're gonna want to camp them until they die, and then they'll be mad at you either way. So it's like it's a lose-lose scenario. People will have to learn that's kind of how the game play is going right now, and maybe that'll change in the future, but so far this is like what we deal with as Klown. There's not much else to say. The others I already shared with you most of the tips, like the generator spawning your exits, so you can use that to track them down. Refilling certain exits and stuff like that is very strong. Other than that, though, there's not really much to say. If you want like tips on the Klown stuff, there's a separate video that I have showcasing a tier list for the Klown types and the weapons and stuff like that. It generally just comes down to preference, except for tank. Tank sucks no matter what. So There you go.